Alright, it's finally time for the answer part of my question and answer thing. So I was gonna make this part, the second part, probably on the weekend, but I had to go out of town. So I was aiming to do it Friday, that didn't work out, I had to do a lot of packing and stuff. So here we are. It's a little later than I wanted, but, you know, no harm, no foul. I did want to give at least a week though, so anyone and everyone could have a chance to ask anything that they wanted. A lot of basic questions, but I'll go down the line. The first one is asking what got me into gaming, and that's a bit of a story. What got me into gaming was my older brother. He's over a decade older than me. So, you know, he was playing games before I was really, born. He had regular Nintendo and all that stuff. And pretty much everything I got, except for my Super Nintendo, was a hand-me-down from him. As well as, I would say, 90% of all of my games until the GameCube era. So, my regular Nintendo was from him, my first Game Boy was from him, my N64 was from him. My Super Nintendo was actually a gift from my parents, but he ended up buying most of the games and playing them on my system. So, and then I would end up playing it. So, I mean, I got into Mario at first. It was a lot of Mario. That was probably one of the first things I really played. And there was another console called the Atari Jaguar, which I tried to play. And it took me a long time to be able to get good enough to play those games. The Jaguar and the Jaguar CD. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of Mario, and then on the Super Nintendo, I've probably beaten Super Metroid about 20, 30, 40 times, who knows, and I've beaten The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past at least 10 times, at least 15 or so. That was actually the first... that was the first Legend of Zelda game I ever played. I'm not sure if I ever picked up the first Metroid before trying Super Metroid. I'm pretty sure I did Super Metroid and then tried to go back to the first one, and I couldn't beat the first one for years. That game is just mean. So it's pretty rough. But that's what got me into gaming. And I went on to the N64 and then the GameCube and so on and so forth. But a lot of my stuff was all hand-me-downs. What was it? It wasn't until the GameCube era that I actually started getting games. I got like a few a year. And even then, though, I could only really play Nintendo stuff. My parents are pretty uptight, so they only let me buy Nintendo consoles and pretty much only buy, like, characters that they recognized on Nintendo stuff. So I didn't really get into Xbox and the stuff that I like to play now until I was 18. And I remember having a conversation with my dad when I was 17, or about to turn 17, that I wanted an Xbox and I wanted Halo 3. And he thought it was too violent for me. And I'm like, geez, man, I'm 17. It says on the box I can play it. But yeah, that was my life. I lived a very annoyingly sheltered life. But, you know, I meant no harm by it, but it did still suck. I can't, no disrespect, but I'm not exactly happy. But, I mean, now, after I got my first job, I just started buying whatever I wanted, and I'm pretty happy with that. So, that is what got me into gaming. Another one is what made me decide to make a channel. What made me start doing YouTube videos. It was more than one of those. And, that I debated for a really, really long time. If I wanted to make videos, I really didn't have the confidence to make it. I didn't think my voice was that good. I had no idea how I would do in a commentary state. Things like that. Just a general lack of confidence that I could do it. But I'd thought about it for probably about a year before I actually started doing it. And, I wound up finding some commentators I like, and I started watching them, and, I was like, yeah, I could probably do this. And then I started paying attention to myself and how I would play, and I noticed especially when I was playing with my friends and I got hyper, I was like, wow, I'm pretty freaking retarded when I get hyper. And case in point, watch my Transformers stuff. But, no, don't mean to do a self-plug or anything. But, yeah, just cut loose, have some fun, and just forget where I am and forget what I'm doing and not care who's listening and just say whatever. Just really let the depths of my personality shine. And... I started thinking, yeah, I could probably do that. I could probably do that for some single-player stuff, too, and I just started cutting loose a bit more, and then the thing that pushed me over the edge and made me think, okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and give it a try and make the investment to get a PVR and all this stuff was the fact that I had a better computer, because that also held me back. I didn't have a laptop. I had a really old desktop that was just crap. And so I had a better laptop, not this one, but I had one that could actually work. So that was good, and then Mass Effect 3 was coming out. I was a big Mass Effect fan. In fact, I have the freaking N7 shoes and the jacket, so I was wearing that over the weekend, and I was feeling fresh to death with that. But nonetheless, so I'm a big Mass Effect fan, and my girlfriend at the time, ex now, sadly, she was also, I got her into Mass Effect as well. We'd done a lot of jerry-rigging, just kind of different stuff, like take a web camera and put it in front of the TV and stuff like that, and she'd watch me play Dead Space that way and some parts of Mass Effect 2 that way. And so I thought about like live streaming and stuff for her and things like that, and I just decided, you know what, it's just easier if I just make videos, and then I can play whenever I want, not wait for her, and then she can watch whenever she wants and not wait for me. And I started doing it, and I like it, and I keep doing it now. Just because, and I would love to be able to do this a lot more and continue to do this for a very long time. I really enjoy this. It's a great way for me to just cut loose in ways that I wouldn't normally. So that is what made me decide to make a channel. What else? The other one was, what's my real name? What do I look like? My real name is Joseph. So yeah, nothing fantastic with that. And then what do I look like? I'm not really interested in showing how I look just yet. Kind of, I don't know, I don't want to be one of those people that is liked for, you know, showing face cams and stuff like that. I just wanted to be more about my personality than how I look or anything like that. But I mean, what, I'm Puerto Rican. I usually keep my hair short, so imagine whatever with that. But, I don't know. One day I will. I'm not like, I'm never gonna show my face, but eventually, once the fancy tickles me, you know, I just, at the moment, I don't see much point to it, no need to it. That wouldn't enhance anything that I do right now. So it's just, yeah, I will see one day, but don't rush me on that. Next interesting question though is, why did you make your gamer tag Blackburn24? And there's several parts to this. For starters, I will say that the 24 in Blackburn24 is nothing. There is no meaning to that. Blackburn was just taken on a lot of places I was trying to go to, in different sites and stuff I would try to use, and I just stuck a 24 in front of it. I was like, screw it, I want my name. So I just stuck a 24 in front of it, and I've been running with it, and it works, I guess. So, what else? But the Blackburn part, I actually never knew that Blackburn was people's, like, people actually had the name Blackburn as their last name. That is not my last name. You could probably assume by the fact that I had no idea that was the case, but, so, yeah, I had no idea until about maybe 2 years after that came out, but the reason why I ended up finding the name Blackburn was there was a Final Fantasy game for the PSP. It was called Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions or something like that. And in that game, like, you could have random teammates. Like, you would kind of just get random soldiers, and that would make up part of your squad. Like, you had a few important characters, but the other, you know, you'd have just fodder, and you could control how they leveled up and all that. And so you could put in your own names, but it would give you like one pre-generated name, just because. And one of the times I bought a soldier for my little group there, his name came in as Blackburn, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll use that. And then I wound up going to a website that needed a username, and I ended up going to put in Blackburn, and I didn't think it was going to take it, but it did. To my surprise, it took the name Blackburn with no numbers in front of it, because I had typoed, actually. And that is why there is no C in my name. I just typed it in, and it just came out BLAKBURN, and that's it. That's the great mystery of the missing C. I like it that way. Everyone that saw it liked it that way. I became known for that, and it stuck with me, and I wouldn't change it. I've had the name Blackburn since '07 sometime. So yeah, before that there was a bunch of other random names that didn't really stick with me. You know, everything from what's it called, Chosen One to Twilight Prince, and that was from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Not anything to do with the Sparkly Vampire movie. I don't even know if those were out yet. I don't even think they were. Or the books probably were, but no one really cared about books, so yeah, I don't think the movies were out at the time. So there was that, and I don't know, other random stuff that I had that didn't really matter. But Blackburn was like the first name that I came up with that really stuck, and I ended up taking that with me to everything. It became my everything. It just became my name. I became very well known for it. The name Blackburn has a lot of history, a lot of it mostly painful and sad, but you know, it's become such a big part of my life, part of my identity, that I haven't really been able to shake it. So that's just who I am, for better or worse, Blackburn. But yeah, that's it for that one. What is the next question? How much wood could or should a woodchuck, you know, chuck? My answer to that is that if a woodchuck wants to be living in my forest, it should be chucking enough wood to build a house every week. If not, then that son of a bee needs to get the hell out, okay? He is not doing a good enough job. The next question was, what music do you listen to? And that is pretty much everything except country. There's very little country that I can tolerate. And hip-hop is hit or miss for me. It's very little that I like, but I mean, when I do find a hip-hop song that I really like it. So, but there's just, those are few and far between. Mostly it's like alternative rock and R&B. Like, those are usually what I listen to the most. So I believe that is it for really all the questions, including the random one. So yeah, not a whole lot. But there you go, all the answers that you need to know are now known to you. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that little bit of information on me and how I do things and what's going on and my history. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another one of these before too long, maybe around 1,000, 1,000 subs, 1,050, 1,500, maybe, hopefully, but we'll see. Until next time though, have a good one.